Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. What would be your first question if you found this out? Maybe about yourself or about someone else. That every significant, intimate relationship that you've had has been with somebody that has some sort of disorder and that they could not love you back the way you loved them. I'll give you more details on this in just a moment. What would be your first question for yourself or that person? Typically, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Why are you attracting this? What are you doing wrong? And I'm here to tell you, what if you're doing it right? It's just incomplete. Okay, let's get into the details. I'm using myself as an example today. So I've had 3 very important, significant other relationships in my life with men. And I found out something recently that all 3 of them are is what is known. Let's try to do goodish grammar. So all 3 relationships are what is known as a cluster B personality. Cluster B personalities. There are 5 disorders. One is narcissism. One is bipolar. The other one is going to be, I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. And I have recently discovered that all 3 of my important relationships with men, they've had one of these. Oh, yeah. And cluster B is not able to love like the rest of us. They have favorites or they have those that they feed off of. Whoa. And we're not talking a short period of time, okay? Decades and decades and decades for between 2 marriages. Luckily, for one relationship, only a few months. Now, I almost did what you would have done, which was, what am I doing wrong? What is so wounded about me that this is being attracted in? But I also know that when we ask questions from an area of being in pain or being threatened, that the RAS, the reticular activating system, is going to find the answers that correspond with that pain and that threat. We actually have to move up to the next 2 levels. One is, what do we value? And then after we figure out what we value, then it's what's unique and what's brilliant about myself, about the experience, about someone else. So I had to move into what I value. And I value love. For some people, it might be worthiness because maybe it's not a situation with significant others. Maybe it's a situation with you and your wealth, your finances, or could it be your health? And it's going to be going right back to, well, what am I doing wrong? I'll give you an example. Last April, I had a breast cancer scare. And I reached out to my friends because I had found out on a Friday and I wasn't getting my diagnostic surgery until that Monday. And so I reached out to my friends for support over the weekend. And one of them, right off the bat, said, "Well, what did you do to cause this?" Whoa. Not that she's not a friend anymore. I just know that she is not there when I need that kind of support. She's investigative. She is not love. But so you've got an area of your life, and there's an aspect of you that could be acting like my one friend. Well, what did we do wrong? There's time for that later on. So we've got to see, what do we want to value? What do we want to value about you? And then what's unique and brilliant about you? So my question from my mentor was, based on my values, um, what's incomplete here? What is it that I do not know about love, to where I've gone into 3 relationships, 3 important, significant relationships with men that are like this? And she was like, "Oh, brilliant question, because let's talk about what attracts that." And I found out that cluster B is attracted to 2 types of women. One is going to be the excitement, adventurous, some risk taking. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you've already heard me talk about my whitewater rafting and my snorkeling with the manatees and my caged dive with some sharks. Okay, so we got that going on, right? She said, but there's another type of person that they're attracted to, which is a safe harbor when they're hurting. Oh, freak. What is it that I do for a living? Now we're going to put those 2 together, and I am a beacon. I am the lighthouse for people that can have disorders and challenges and are looking for someone else to either make it happen for them or feed off of. By the way, these people typically never go into therapy. I would never see them in my business. Why is that? Because they don't think anything's wrong with them. So I had incomplete knowledge of how to be able to tell what I was attracting in my life, incomplete knowledge of my brilliance. Now, let's take me and my pain, because let me tell you, that hurt. But if you give your pain a purpose for progress, then you can see rapid results. Oh my gosh. All right. So your brilliance has actually attracted in some bullshit. People, situations, because it wanted some of the best parts of you. And you're going, what's wrong with me? Where am I wounded? Where am I screwed up? Why do I keep bringing this in? No, it's not that you're screwed up. It's just that you don't know enough about your values and what's unique about you, and then bringing out that identity in a way that takes the bullshit and turns it into manure for your garden of growth. Oh boy, is my garden fertilized right now. By the way, the subconscious, the powerful part of your mind that runs all of your habits and patterns. And for me, habits and patterns, yeah, guys that I can connect with. I don't know what habit and pattern we're talking about for you that's been causing you pain. But the subconscious does not think in words, it thinks in symbols, which is the reason why I talked about garden of growth and fertilizer, because it's going, oh, okay, that's what we're supposed to do with this. We're actually supposed to use the experience that we've been through, not as a lesson, but actually as something that's going to produce blooms and blossoms in our garden, because you can learn a lesson like what you did in school and then forget it. And then another test shows up and you're like, oh, yeah, what was it that I learned? No. Instead of using it as lessons, say, well, this is going to be absorbed. This is actually going to become part of the garden, but in a way where it must produce something in my life and in my life, kind of like in the next 3 months, because the subconscious, it doesn't think long term. That's your conscious mind. Subconscious looks at like the next quarter. Think about planting a seed, and you've got to nurture and nourish it, and you expect to see some sort of growth. It's number one, that seed has to break through its husk of limited consciousness. Ooh, that's some good symbolism. And then the seedling has to push past the dirt in life to where it finally breaks through the surface into the light. You expect to see that in 3 months. Do I expect to see some growth with the relationships that I'm moving into based on what I know now and how I want to be surrounded by people who can give me the love in a similar manner that I give to them? Not only do I expect it, I'm demanding it. I'm telling my subconscious, produce this. But then I need to know, what is it that that seed needs in order to produce the blooms and blossoms? Well, just to give you a little bit of insight on me, I know that if somebody I'm dating would has talked about going into therapy or coaching as the client, or is curious about it, that it looks like they could if they wanted to. Are they doing the work on themselves? Then that's going to be an excellent person for me to be with. Why is that? Because cluster Bs typically don't do that. They will do it because someone else has asked them to. No, I'm looking at potential partners. Have they done the work? And I know some of them listen to this podcast, and it's not just going to be lip service. If you're going to be dating me, you're going to have to actually produce proof of your growth. Okay, now what about you? What is it that you value? How is it incomplete? You're not doing something wrong to attract in the people, the places, the situations. You are just doing it from incomplete knowledge. So, what is it that you value? What is unique about you? And what is it that we need to do to put together a plan to make this happen for you? This is the reason why I offer the All Access Pass. All Access Pass is 4 coaching and hypnosis sessions with me. We coach on your brilliance, the best parts of you. And then we do the hypnosis to get your subconscious agreement on the success using your brilliance. And so you have 4 sessions. It's on special right now. You can reach out to me, 1-636-699-7791. Tell me you either want to consult or that you want to go ahead and get the information on the All Access Pass, because that special pricing is going to go away in just a few days. Okay, so why do I get vulnerable with you and share with you some of my wounds? To show you that they can be turned into wealth, to give you insider access, that we're not perfect, but that we can go for progress, and sharing it in a way to where you begin to accept the authority of leadership in your own life. I tell you these stories about me because it's known as transfer of authority or transfer of power, to where I share my wound and then say, okay, this is what has to happen for that wound to be to wealth. And because I use this system and it works, if it resonates with you, I will teach you the same system. Okay. So that brilliance of yours, it's just incomplete. Let's take that bullshit you've been through and use it for your garden of growth as fertilizer for fulfillment, because the next 3 months can absolutely light up your world if you are ready to say yes to your success.